A tropical cyclone is heading straight for Western Australia's coast right now, and if you live between Broome and Exmouth, the next 72 hours will determine whether you are facing the biggest storm system this region has seen in months. But that's not the only weather emergency unfolding across Australia today, Friday the 6th of February 2026. Right now, as you're rewatching this, severe thunderstorms are already forming over southwestern Queensland, and within the next 6 hours, some communities could see wind gusts reaching destructive levels. Stay with me because at the 30-second mark, I am revealing which major cities are in the direct firing line. Here is what you need to know immediately. Between Thargomindah and Quilpie in southwestern Queensland, thunderstorms are already active. They started late last night and they're rebuilding. At the same time, around Eyre's Rock near Alice Springs, rainfall is falling in an area that typically stays bone dry this time of year. When it rains here in early February, it's a signal that something significant is happening in our atmosphere. But here's the shocking part. By this afternoon, the northern corner of South Australia, southwestern Queensland and northwestern New South Wales will experience what meteorologists call supercellular thunderstorm activity. These aren't your average storms. We're talking about systems capable of producing destructive wind gusts, torrential rainfall that could dump 150 to 200 millimetres in isolated areas, and conditions so intense that some of Australia's driest regions might receive their entire annual rainfall in just 3 days. Let me be specific about timing because this matters to you. If you are in Roma, Charleville, Windora or Longreach in central Queensland, severe thunderstorm development begins this afternoon between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. The peak intensity hits around sunset, roughly 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. These storms will continue into tonight, finally easing around midnight to 2 a.m. Saturday morning. For Sydney residents, particularly those in the foothills and the Hunter region around Barrington Tops, isolated to sporadic thunderstorms develop this afternoon. One or two could reach severe intensity between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. today. They want to be as organised as the Queensland systems, but they worth monitoring. Now comment below and tell me where you are watching from because I want to give you the most accurate forecast for your specific location. Are you in Brisbane, Townsville, Perth? Let me know and I'll make sure you get the critical information you need. Here's something that will surprise you. Lake Eyre in South Australia, one of the driest places on the entire continent, could receive 100 to 150 millimetres of rain between today and Sunday. Lake Torrens, Mumba and Innamincka, locations that typically see only 100 millimetres in an entire year, and sometimes go years without decent rainfall, are about to get soaked. This is the best rainfall these areas have seen in years, possibly even a decade for some spots. But there is a complication. The catchments around Lake Eyre are already saturated from previous rainfall. That means this new water has nowhere to go except straight into the lake system. Localised flooding is now a real concern along the Birdsville track and northeast of Maree in northeastern South Australia. If you're already planning travel through these regions this weekend, reconsider your route. Alice Springs could also pick up 100 millimetres or more, but remember, thunderstorm rainfall is patchy. Some areas will be absolutely drenched while locations just 20 kilometres away stay completely dry. That is the nature of convective rainfall. Now let us talk about southeast Queensland because this affects Brisbane, the Gold Coast and millions of Australians. Right now conditions are dry, unusually dry. Humidity levels are far below what we typically see in February. It's been comfortable, almost pleasant, but that comfort comes at a cost. Southeast Queensland is sliding toward drought-like conditions. Here is the timeline you need to know. Wednesday the 11th of February, a trough approaches central Queensland. Thursday the 12th of February is when things get interesting. Thunderstorm potential develops around Windora, Longreach, Charleville and Roma in central Queensland. Moisture streams in from the southeast Queensland coastline, spiking instability values. By Thursday afternoon, roughly 2 p.m. to 8 p.m, thunderstorms develop. These want to be high-end severe systems, but they will be rain dumpers, possibly dropping 50 to 100 millimetres in localised areas. Brisbane and the Gold Coast see the activity extend toward them Thursday evening into Friday morning, February 13th. But here's the catch. A high-pressure system sitting in the Tasman Sea is keeping things extremely dry. When the southeasterly change pushes through on Friday, it won't bring the rainfall you are hoping for. This isn't a typical February weather. Usually a southeasterly change means showers and storms. Not this time. So when does Brisbane actually get rain? The answer is next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the 14th and 15th of February. A low-pressure system begins establishing itself offshore from the southeast Queensland coast. This system drags moisture down from the Coral Sea. Humidity values climb to 80 to 90% offshore, reaching nearly 100% right along the coast. That is when showers and steady rain bands finally develop. But, and this is critical, the rainfall will be hit or miss. Coastal areas will see the most, possibly 30 to 80 millimetres over the weekend. Inland areas might see almost nothing. It's not the widespread soaking rain that southeast Queensland desperately needs, but it's something. It chips away at the rainfall deficit. Looking further ahead, Monday through Wednesday, February 16th to 18th, the low pressure system continues influencing the region. Showers remain in the forecast for coastal areas from Brisbane down to northeastern New South Wales, including the Gold Coast, Byron Bay and Coffs Harbour. Again, isolated totals could reach 80 to 120 millimetres, but most areas will see far less. Now, you might see some weather models on social media showing extreme rainfall totals, even 500 millimetres for this system around February 19th or 20th. Let me be absolutely clear, that's not happening. Those are long-range model outputs that tend to exaggerate low-pressure systems. Don T, get your hopes up for a massive rainfall event. What we're re-looking at is moderate, coastal-focused showers, not a flooding rain event. One positive factor working in southeast Queensland's favour is sea surface temperatures. Right now, waters along the coast are sitting at 26 degrees Celsius or warmer. That's the threshold temperature favourable for tropical development. The 26-degree line extends as far south as Port Macquarie and Coffs Harbour. Warm ocean water means any showers or storms that do develop will have extra fuel, increasing rainfall potential. But let's address the elephant in the room. No, there is no tropical cyclone threatening southeast Queensland. The chances of a cyclone impacting Brisbane, the Gold Coast or northern New South Wales in the next 2 weeks are extremely remote. We're re-talking lottery-winning odds here. So if you've seen rumours or speculation about a cyclone heading for southeast Queensland, you can put those fears to rest right now. Let me shift north to Townsville and far north Queensland because there is genuinely good news here. This morning, moderate to heavy showers are falling around Townsville, particularly through the Harvey Range and upstream into the Ross River Dam catchment. This is significant and very welcome. The dam has actually been turned off this morning because there's enough natural rainfall coming through. These showers developed overnight from a confluence zone where easterly to northeasterly winds in the mid-levels of the atmosphere clash with southeasterly surface flows. It is not a classic convergence zone, but the result is the same. Moisture collides, rises and produces rain. For Cairns and the Cassowary coast, including areas around the Daintree, showers and thunderstorms are moving ashore right now. As the sun rises and heats the landscape, these showers intensify. Through today, Friday the 6th, expect moderate to occasionally heavy rainfall, particularly late morning and early afternoon between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Saturday the 7th of February brings more of the same for Cairns and the Cassowary coast. Moderate to heavy falls are possible tomorrow afternoon and evening, roughly 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday the 8th continues the pattern with potentially heavy rainfall through the morning hours, 6 a.m. to noon, before gradually easing Sunday afternoon. Early next week, Monday through Wednesday, showers and thunderstorms remain in the forecast for northern and far north Queensland as a weak area of tropical low pressure develops near Papua New Guinea, just offshore from the very tip of Cape York Peninsula. This keeps moisture flowing into the region throughout next week. Now here's a flooding consideration. Rivers in far north Queensland are already running. The Dimbula area along the Dimbull River is showing significant water flow. The Barron River near Atherton also has elevated levels. With the additional rainfall coming over the next 48 to 72 hours, minor flooding is possible in these river systems. But this is wet season. This is what we expect and plan for in northern Queensland. It's not a major emergency, but it's worth monitoring if you live near rivers or creeks. Now the main event, tropical low 21U in the Kimberley region of Western Australia. This system is organising rapidly this morning, Friday the 6th of February, northeast of Broome. In the next few hours, it moves offshore into the Indian Ocean, and that S when intensification begins. Here, S, the critical timeline for Western Australia. The tropical low spends 24 to 72 hours offshore, roughly from Friday afternoon through Sunday morning, gathering strength over warm Indian Ocean waters. Current projections show landfall somewhere between Dampier and Onslow, most likely near Karratha or Dampier, around Sunday morning, the 8th of February, probably between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. A tropical cyclone watch is currently in effect from De Grey, just east of Port Hedland, all the way down to Onslow. This watch means gale force winds sustained at 63 kilometres per hour or higher are possible within 24 to 48 hours. That watch will likely extend to include Exmouth later today or this evening. Let me be specific about what to expect. Wind gusts along the Pilbara coast will approach 120 to 130 kilometres per hour. That S, strong enough to damage structures, bring down trees and power lines and create dangerous conditions. Rainfall totals will reach 150 to 200 millimetres, possibly higher in isolated areas where thunderstorms embedded in the system stall. But here is the uncertainty, and this is important. This tropical system is approaching the coast at an angle. Even a small change in direction, just 5 degrees, could shift landfall by 100 to 150 kilometres up or down the coast. If the system tracks slightly north, Port Hedland takes the direct hit. If it shifts south, Karratha and Dampier are in the bullseye. If it wobbles even further south, Onslow and potentially Exmouth see the worst conditions. The good news, if there is any, is that this is a large system. The impacts want to be concentrated at one single point. Communities 200 kilometres either side of landfall will experience significant wind and rain. That means whether you are in Broome, Port Hedland, Karratha, Dampier, Onslow or Exmouth, you need to monitor this situation closely. If you live anywhere from Broome down to Exmouth, here's what you should do right now. Clean up your backyard, secure loose items. Anything that can become a projectile in 120 km per hour, wines needs to be tied down or brought inside. Check your emergency supplies, make sure you have water, non-perishable food, batteries and a battery-powered radio. Check in with your workplace about Monday. If this system tracks toward Exmouth, it arrives later, potentially Sunday night or Monday morning, which could mean Monday becomes a day off work as the cyclone warning extends. Stay in communication with your employer and have a plan. Most importantly, listen to official warnings from the Bureau of Meteorology. They will issue updated forecasts every few hours as this system evolves. Tropical cyclone tracks can and do change, sometimes rapidly. For the rest of Western Australia, particularly Perth and the southwest, this weekend looks beautiful. Clear skies, light winds, perfect conditions for getting on the water or enjoying outdoor activities. Perth can expect temperatures around 28 to 32 degrees Celsius on Saturday and Sunday with virtually no rainfall. Let me bring this all together because there is a lot happening across Australia right now. Severe thunderstorms developing this afternoon across southwestern Queensland, northwestern New South Wales and northern South Australia. Peak activity between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. today. Central Australia receiving significant, possibly record-breaking rainfall through the weekend. Southeast Queensland staying dry until next weekend, with only moderate coastal showers expected from Saturday the 14th onward. Northern Queensland continuing to receive welcome wet season rainfall through next week. And Western Australia Pilbara coast preparing for a tropical cyclone impact Sunday morning. Don T, forget to comment below with your location. Tell me where you are watching from, whether it's Brisbane, Sydney, Perth, Darwin, Melbourne, Adelaide or anywhere else, and I'll do my best to give you more specific forecast details in the comments. Now here's what I am watching closely over the next few days, and this is the information you won't want to miss in the next video. That low-pressure system developing offshore from southeast Queensland around February 14th could evolve in unexpected ways. Early signals suggest it might linger longer than current models predict, potentially bringing a more prolonged period of showers and coastal rain. I'll have a detailed breakdown of that system, including which specific suburbs in Brisbane and the Gold Coast are most likely to see significant rainfall. Also, the tropical system hitting Western Australia this weekend doesn't just disappear after landfall. The remnants of this system track inland, and there is a possibility, still low but worth monitoring, that moisture from this tropical low could interact with systems over central and eastern Australia later next week. If that happens, we could see some very interesting weather develop over South Australia and western New South Wales around February 12th to 15th. And finally, sea surface temperatures across northern Australia remain well above average. The Coral Sea is sitting at 27 to 28 degrees Celsius. Those are prime conditions for tropical development. We're only in early February. The tropical cyclone season runs through April. There is still plenty of time for more systems to develop, and I'll be tracking every single one. Before you go, remember this. Weather is constantly evolving. What I've told you today is based on the best available data right now, Friday morning, the 6th of February. By tonight, some of these forecasts will have updated. By tomorrow, they might look quite different, especially for that Western Australia tropical system. So here's my advice. Check back tomorrow for an updated forecast. I'll have new satellite imagery updated model runs, and clearer information on exactly where that tropical cyclone makes landfall and how strong it will be at the time of crossing the coast. The most important thing you can do right now is stay informed. Don't rely on rumours or outdated information. Get your weather updates from reliable sources. Make sure your family and neighbours know what is happening, especially if you are in the path of the tropical cyclone in Western Australia or the severe thunderstorm zones in Queensland and South Australia. This is an active weather pattern. Multiple significant systems are impacting Australia simultaneously, from severe thunderstorms to tropical cyclones to drought-breaking rainfall in the Outback. We are seeing the full spectrum of Australian weather compressed into one dramatic weekend. Stay safe, stay prepared, and make sure you resubscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's critical update on the Western Australia tropical cyclone, landfall timing and intensity. I'll also have updated rainfall totals for southeast Queensland and more precise timing on when Brisbane and the Gold Coast can expect those showers next weekend. Thank you for watching, and remember to comment with your location so I can provide you with the most relevant forecast information. Whether you're refacing severe storms, tropical cyclones, or just planning your weekend, I want to make sure you have exactly the information you need to stay safe and make smart decisions. The next video drops tomorrow morning with crucial updates on all these developing weather systems.